Yes, this is the time of the month to sit down with a nice, cozy book, but it's also that time of the year where you want something nice and spicy, steamy. Hi, wonderful people, and welcome back to my channel, Book Cruise. I'm Giselle. How are you going? What's up with the scene? Today, I am going to share with you some hot paranormal fantasy releases for this month. Now, at the end of this month, we have Halloween. And during this time of year, I like to read more paranormal books. I like to read more fantasy stories. I read them throughout the year, but I just read more at this point in the year. If you're interested in knowing some paranormal releases, you want to read books with supernatural beings, whether it's vampires, shifters, demons, witches, goblins, mermaids, whatever you're into, check out any of these books. They're all new. Or it just might be another part of a series that you are anticipating. Give this video a thumbs up. Yes, and please let me know your favorite paranormal beings. I love to read books with vampires. I love to read books with shifters, and I love to read books with fays. Those are my favorite characters. Yo, this book, Garrett's Destiny. No, I have been reading books from the Dark Protectors series written by Rebecca Zinatti, and I loved that series. I have my favorite books from the series. My favorites are book 1, book 2, and marked. I can't remember which one it is. It's either book 7 or 8 marked. Those 3 books are my favorite. But now we're getting Garrett's book, and Garrett, he was introduced very young. He's half vampire, half demon, and now he's about to meet his mate. And if you don't know anything about that particular family, when they find their true or their fated mate, they brand their mates. At first, they thought that they were 100% like vampires, but along their line, they were mixed, which is why they could have gone out into the sun and not get burned like the regular vampires. Oh my goodness. This series, I love this series. The theme, the story development, the action in this, like the plot, the storytelling, the world building in this particular series, it's just so good. It is so good, and I cannot wait to read Garrett's book because he was always a troublemaker. He was the first child born to the human / vampire demon in this particular series, and that is in Fated. So yeah, if you're looking for a really good series to start, this is it. Another exciting paranormal release, House of Curses, and this is book 3 though in the Royal Houses series. Unfortunately, you have to read books 1 and 2 before you can read book 3, just because it follows the same characters. And this story is more for fans of like Sarah J. Maas, those who like books by Jennifer Armentrout. They are definitely going to enjoy this story. I saw it, but I didn't know this story existed to begin with. But I was doing some research and I saw this book. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why haven't I read this book? Why am I now seeing this series to begin with? So this story follows Kerrigan, and she's half human and half fey. And she was left at the doorstep of the House of Dragons. So you have book 1. And so now she has to compete in a particular competition. She has to go through training in order to become part of society. But even though she has successfully done that, because she isn't like 100% fey, she's still not fully accepted into society. You have in book 2, just taken to the House of Shadows, you find that certain things start to reveal itself. This story is giving me so much vibes. And these two right here, the Demon's Bargain and the Fey Queen's Captive, these two have definitely piqued my interest. I am highly anticipating reading these two books because they're definitely going to be hot. So let us talk a bit of the demon's bargain. In this particular book, we meet Lenora, and she has lost her family heirloom. And you have something called the shadow market that happens once a year, and it's for 3 days, and it is where magical folks gather to celebrate. And so she strikes a bargain with a demon to get back her family heirloom. Turns out she was trying to get away from being in a bargain that would require her to be of service for 7 years. And in this one, the Fey Queen's captive, you have a grad student, and she sets out to find a particular castle, and she ends up being kidnapped by the Fey Queen. And she went searching for this castle during the shadow market, where you have all these different magical beings, right? So you have the fae, you have demons, you have witches, mermaid, gorgons. And so with all these magical folks gathered in one place, you can see where everyone is going to have a particular or a peculiar taste. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This sounds like it's going to be very spicy. Earth's daughter and Earth's lair. And in these two books, you get the outer worldly beings, you get the vampires, the shifters, the goblins, magic, witches. You get all of that in these two books. In book one, someone is creating zombies, a spell is cast, and the heroine, she is trying to save the world by casting spells, and in come Mr. Dark and Handsome, and he's going to help her along the way. In Earth's daughter, the heroine, she is a baker, and in Earth's lair, the heroine, she works on a farm. And it's like so separate. This is your small town paranormal story. I'm quite interested in reading this story because we have zombies, and normally I don't touch zombies at all. But you know what? Every month, every year, I'm doing something new, I'm doing something different. So I'm excited for these two books. Oh my gosh. So this book is so interesting. It has Faye as the supernatural being. So the heroine, on her birthday, she walks into her apartment to see her boyfriend being intimate with another woman, and she decides, you know what, I'm over men, I'm going to stay single. She gets drunk, and then she is approached by the king of the Sealy, and he approaches her because he is looking for his next queen, and he hosts a competition every year, and he offers her $50 million to participate. I haven't read a book with a fae in it that has held my interest. Like, I already have like my favorite paranormal romance with faes, but I've yet to read one that has left me wowed, and I think this just might be the one. I've read the blurb, and the blurb has grabbed my attention. There's also magic in this one, so I am all about that, and I am ready to read this book. I'm ready to download it. You know it's getting cold, so I'm going to have some very steamy books that I'm going to be reading. And one hot, dark, and spicy book that is releasing this month is an anthology that has 9 stories from 12 different authors. And these stories, you can find shifters, vampires, even aliens, and they're all romances. So the anthology that I'm talking about is A Dark and Steamy Night, and it is a charity anthology, so proceeds are going to go to a particular organization. So I want to read this one. I'm reading it because 1, it's dark, 2, it's spicy, and 3, they're going to be paranormal beings, they're going to be supernatural beings, and they're going to be other worldly beings. Yo, if you didn't know that I enjoy vampire romances, you're definitely going to figure that out today, because this next anthology, it's all about vampires. Like, vampire stories are so intense. They are so sexy. I don't know what it is about vampires and shifters that I just love in terms of being paranormal, otherworldly beings. I don't know what it is, but this anthology right here, Chronicles of the Dam, a dark vampire romance anthology. This is definitely another hot, spicy one to read. So yes, this is the time of the month to sit down with a nice, cozy book, but it's also that time of the year where you want something nice and spicy, steamy. These are some hot paranormal releases for the month of October. If you want to read some new release and you want to do paranormal fantasy, or you want to read books with supernatural beings, whether it's vampires, shifters, demons, witches, goblins, mermaids, whatever you're into, check out any of these books. They're all releasing soon, or one of two of them have already been released by the time I post this video. So there is something for everyone in this video. There's something for everyone that likes to read paranormal fantasy romances in this video. So check out these spicy, dark, otherworldly beings books. Check them out.